I often get asked by clients how to use their equity to buy another home. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about three key things. One, what is equity? Two, how to use it to buy another home. And three, is it easy to do? What is our home equity? Home equity is basically the difference of what your home is worth and what you owe on the property. So hypothetically, let's say you bought a property a couple of years ago for $400,000. Today it's worth $500,000 and you owe $250,000 on the property, meaning you have $250,000 of equity in your home. This money, if it's liquid, can be used to help benefit your life. It can help you pay off debt. It can help you buy a new home, and it can help you create an emergency fund. But how do you access that equity? Today, we're going to talk about three key ways you can unlock the power of your equity. First is something called a home equity loan. A home equity loan is a fixed term loan that uses your home as collateral to unlock that equity. It's a fixed rate that's generally higher than what your primary mortgage loan is, but it's typically lower than what a credit card or personal loan interest rate may be. And recognize they won't give you 100% of equity on your home. They'll usually give you about 80% of what you actually have in your home equity. So in this scenario, if you have $250,000 of equity in your home, then you probably have about $200,000. If you qualify for it, you could use at your disposal. The second option is a HELOC. What is a HELOC? It stands for a home equity line of credit. Unlike a home equity loan that's one lump sum of cash, a home equity line of credit is a revolving credit you can use on a variable rate, meaning the rate changes based on what the market does. A HELOC is a little bit more risky than a home equity loan and usually is used for more short-term purposes. A good way to think about a HELOC is it's kind of like your own personal credit card that uses your house as collateral. And typically a HELOC does about 85% of your home value. So that means with a HELOC, you may have up to $212,000 in the scenario we talked about earlier. And finally, the third way you can unlock your equity is by selling. You simply compensate the parties that helped you to sell your home, and then you get to net the difference in between. Finally, is it easy to do? Well, the answer is yes and no. Selling a home takes time, and getting a HELOC or home equity loan is another loan you have to go through. So you have to work with professionals and with lenders that can guide you through the process. To get a home equity loan or a HELOC on your property, typically you're going to go through two different institutions, either A, local credit unions, or B, maybe your current service provider has opportunities or lending options for a HELOC or home equity loan. Here are a few stories of clients that I've worked with and how they've used a home equity loan, a HELOC, and selling their property in order to help them achieve their home ownership goals and get into a new property. I recently had a client that needed a significant down payment in order to get into their new home. It was more money than they had or they wanted to use that was currently in their bank account. So we started discovering other options. An option that was a great consideration for them was a home equity loan. With a home equity loan, they could utilize up to $180,000 of their equity in order to put down on their new home. Now, to use a home equity loan, you have to qualify for both loans. You have to qualify for the payment associated with the home equity loan in the new house and also the payment associated with their old house because they weren't in a position where they really wanted or needed to sell at this time. So by using a home equity loan, we were able to present a 20% down payment on their new home. And on top of that, we were able to go forward as a buyer that was not contingent upon selling their home. Because we're able to be non-contingent as a buyer, we're able to put together a more aggressive offer that let us have a longer timeline in order to buy, got more closing costs, and it had a lower purchase price than what the seller was actually asking for. Another example is a family I worked with that used a HELOC to help get them into the home of their dreams. They were looking to go build a home and the builder was requiring 5% down in order for them to move forward and begin building the home. Well, my clients were not in a position where they had 5% in their bank account currently. They made good money, they had low debt, but they did not have a ton of liquid assets sitting in their bank account. So how do we tap their home equity in order to let them build the home of their dreams? Well, we did it through a HELOC. They worked through a local credit union to identify the amount of money they had in their equity and then identify how it could utilize at least 5% of that. We did that, and they were able to put 5% down 9 months before their build was actually done. Now, the reason they didn't sell right away is because they wanted to live in their house for the next 9 months while the home was being built. Because we used their HELOC, we were able to get them into their new home, and then right before they were going to move into their brand new home, they actually sold their property and paid off the HELOC. HELOC is part of the process. One final way you can utilize it is by selling your home. Finally, I had a third client that wanted to buy and sell simultaneously. For many people, this can be concerning and scary, but for my buyer, because we identified what their needs were, what their goals were, and what they absolutely need to make in order to move forward on their home purchase, we were able to move forward confidently on their home sale. We created a detailed plan of what they need to do to get ready for the market to make sure their home sold for top dollar. We identified a positioning strategy to identify how many days it would take to list, how many days it would take to go under contract, and then finally, how many days it would take to finalize the transaction. By doing this, we're able to sell their home in 15 days, we're able to finish the contract in 30 days, and we're able to have them move into their new home after only 45 days on the market. So which one is right for you? Well, a lot of that's going to depend upon your risk tolerance, what you can qualify for, and finally, your peace of mind. At the end of the day, if you can qualify for a home equity loan and you can have 2 separate house payments simultaneously, it's a great option to consider because then you know you don't have to move twice. You know that you can do it in one simple transaction, and whenever you're moved out of your old home, you can go buy your new home. A HELOC might be right for you if you need a bridge loan to get you through to the next situation. But realize when you use this bridge loan, you're always dependent on selling your home in order to get to the new one. And finally, is buying and selling a home really something I should consider and right for you? With a professional, I guarantee you'll be taken care of in the right way. Most of my transactions are actually with clients who are both buying and selling. That's what I specialize in, and I come together with them on a plan that makes it work. If you can't qualify for a HELOC or a home equity loan, then the best option is obviously to sell your home. Now, working with a professional, you can have the peace of mind and the assurance that you only have to move once and make it a simultaneous transaction where you buy and you sell at the same time. If you think option 3 might be the right option for you and you're looking to sell your home, watch this video with 9 questions you need to know before you identify and work with your real estate agent.